Hi there, this is Art and Such with my Rainbow Loom tutorial for Pebbles Flintstone. We're going to make what you see here, but I will be shortening the top of the head as well as the legs. There is some flexibility for the outfit color. I'm going to use green and turquoise, but you're welcome to use browns or tans or blues. She wears some different outfits in the show. I'm also going to be using white for the bone, orange for the hair, skin tone of your choice for the face, arms, belly, legs. You're going to want to have on hand some beads or bands for the eyes. I'll be using a couple of very small pearl beads. I'll show you how to thread those on, and I'm using a black Sharpie marker to draw on the pupils at the end. I'm also using some little black disc-like beads. If you have something that you feel you'd like to try, you're welcome to. I'll show you how to thread those on, as well as a way that you can do this with bands. Now, what other notes do we have here? You're going to want 1 or 2 C-clips, a holding hook, looming hook, your loom in the offset configuration, and I'm going to be using some dental floss, or you can use some thin wire or a needle and thread to put the beads onto the bands. So without further ado, let's make our arms. We're going to take a single skin tone band, wrap it on the hook 1, 2, 3 times. And this is going to go onto a doubled over single. So take a single skin tone, stretch it, twist it, bring it back on top of itself so it's nice and tight. End of the hook, and slide your wrapped band over. Put the other end on, and we're going to do this with a second doubled over single. Stretch, twist, and double it. End of the hook, slide it on, and we're going to have a total of 8 doubled over singles in this chain. So that was 1 and 2, and we need to do 6 more. So this is going to be this third one. Try not to twist these up too much as we go. And 4. And 5. You can certainly make these a little shorter if you're trying to conserve on bands, or if you want our arm to be just a little cuter. But I kind of like this length, and it curves in nicely. 7 and 8. And we need to do a second arm, so we're going to repeat this in just a minute. Okay, and twist that a little bit. And even it out. You can leave it here or put it on a separate hook. That's entirely up to you. We're going to start a second arm, take a single, wrap it 3 times, and pull it onto 8 doubled over singles. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And our legs are a little bit easier. We're going to take 2 bands. So just slide these down, and then for the legs, take 2 bands, put them on the end of the hook, and we're going to wrap them together 1, 2, and 3 times. And this is going to go onto 3 sets of double bands. No, 4 sets. That's right. So take 2 bands together, put them on the end of the hook, and push your wrapped bands over. Slide it back. We want another 3 sets of double bands. So we're not doubling them over, we're just taking 2 together here. This is the second set, a third set of them, and a 4th set. And originally I did have my legs just 1 longer, but this will be nice. It'll be just really petite. Okay, other leg. 2 bands together, wrap it 1, 2, 3 times, and pull it onto 4 sets of double bands. 1, 2, 3. Having a hard time getting a grasp of those. And 4. I'm going to show you next. I'm going to do one of these with you, how to put the bands or the buttons or the beads onto the shirt. And you're welcome to make as many as you like. I'm going to have 3 altogether. So I'll show you first with the band. You can take a black band, wrap it on your hook 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And you're going to take a band the color of your shirt, I'm using green, and slide it to the middle. You can let it sit there until we're ready to use. If you're using a bead, this is the same method you'll see me use for the eyes. You can either put it on a hook or you can take your floss, run it through it, put it through your shirt colored band, come back over, and from the opposite direction we'll pass through the bead again and slide it until it's in the center of that band. So as I said, I have 3 at the ready. You can pause your video now and prepare 3 or more of these button pieces. And now we are ready to go to the loom. Or I'm ready. Hopefully you're ready too. We're going to take 2 skin tone bands and come once from the top center peg to the second peg down in the center. Get out the color that you're using for your hair. Oh, sorry, for your shirt. And come from the second peg down in the center to the second peg down on the right side. Take 2 from the second center to the second left. And we're going to come down once on the side row on the left side. Again, you are welcome to change the pattern of the buttons as you see fit. I'm going to try and keep this consistent with what I did the first time. So I came from the second peg down to the third peg down on the center and left side rows. On the other side, I'm going to come down once from the second to the third with 1 peg, and then I'm going to take one of the bands with my buttons on it and place that on top. Now on the right side, like the far side and the middle, I'm coming down with double bands one more time. And then on the left side, I'm going to put a single green and one of the bands that has the buttons on top. And now we come down one more time on either side with double bands. Trying to get just 2 here. And in the center, single peg down from the 4th peg to the 5th peg, and a band with a button on top of that. We're going to come back to put on a side extension a little later, but for now let's continue on. We're going to come down on either side with double skin tone bands. And we'll have 2 sets of double skin tone bands in the center. So from the 5th peg to the 6th, we'll place 2 skin tone bands, and from the 6th to the 7th. And let's switch to blue. We're going to come down once on each of the rows, or turquoise, that's what I used here. The color you want for your shorts, you're going to come down, or diaper I guess, come down with double bands once on each of the rows. Ooh. Try that again. And I forgot something with the legs. We're just going to do a quick addition here. I'm going to ask you to pull one of your legs off. Just hold on to it or put it on a different hook. Take 2 of your short colored bands, run them under through the first leg. This will help it to kind of blend a little bit better. And then we'll put the other leg back, and we're going to add a set of diaper colored bands through those as well. So let me just show you. We've just added one more set of double bands to each of the legs, but it's in the color we used for the diapers. We're going to take 2 bands and pull that through both of the legs, and we stretch this across from the 7th peg down on either side, like on one side, to the 7th peg down on the other. So So it's just sitting above the last peg that we used in the middle. And we're going to do our holding bands. So the bottommost one will be, the bottommost two will be turquoise. So we go to the 7th peg, where the leg is, stretch it across and bring it over the 7th center. 6th peg to the 6th peg and up over the center 6th peg down. And just before, actually we can put on our top extensions here. Before our extension we want our holding bands. So, sorry, it's been a long day, guys. Go down to your 5th peg down with a band the color of your shirt, and you're going to stretch it across in triangle formation again, so it reaches over the center 5th peg as well. Do this again over the 4th pegs down and over the 3rd pegs down. Now you can add your arms onto the 2nd pegs down on either side. You want to try to get it so that it's curving inwards. And that might mean taking it off the hook and putting it back on backwards. It might mean turning your loom around. It might mean sliding it off the bottom of your hook, which is what I'm going to do here. Or I think I will just pop it off carefully and put my hook back through. Whatever is working for you, because this is going to curl and you want it to sort of curl in the right direction if you can. If you can arrange it there. Okay. So we are almost ready with the body. Let's do our extension. We're going to take this a shirt colored band. Take a single band of that color, wrap it 3 times. Pull it onto 2 green bands, shirt colored bands. Put the other end on and make a second, put it on another set of doubles. And this is going to go onto the 4th peg down on the side. Transfer it from the hook, and what you want to do is stretch it. And you can see there's another chain just sitting just below. We're going to pull a piece of that over the 5th peg down on the side. That's really all there is to that. So let's make one for the other side. Single green, wrap 3 times, pulled onto 2 sets of double bands. And we'll have to turn the loom around just a little bit to reach this on. Goes from the hook to the 4th peg down. And you're going to stretch it, find the next chain, and pull a band over. And we are ready to loop the body, so we're just about halfway done this project. I'm going to start on the center and reach under the 8th peg down, find the 2 blues, bring them up and over the next peg. Push back the leg attachment piece and bring up your skin tone from underneath. We're just reaching for the bottom most 2 bands here. Something happened there. Oh, almost lost my triangle band. That wouldn't be good. Let me just fix that before we go on. Oh, no, it just got hooked there. Okay, now when you see the button, you're gonna loop as you normally would. Just take both bands together and bring them forward. And we're gonna stop when we get to the 2nd peg from the top. Go back on the side, and what we want to do is follow this line of bands that goes along the bottom. We're gonna pull those out, push back the rest of the bands, and the open part of our hook is pointed up towards the top of the loom. Scoop the bottom 2 and bring them forward over. This goes onto the peg above. Push back your holding bands and get the bottom 2 pink. And we'll continue looping up this way. So push back everything but the bottom 2, bring them forward. Push back everything but the bottom 2 and bring them forward. And this one had a bead on it as well. And once you get to the arm, you can reach through the arm for the bottom 2 bands and loop them to the 2nd peg down in the center. Let's loop up the other side. Same deal, push back the holding bands as you go. Just follow it up in order. Oops. And then we're going to loop to the center again. Don't worry right now about where the beads are sitting, we'll get that sorted. Go into that 2nd peg down, find your bottom 2 skin tone, and loop them forward. And you guys probably know the drill, but we have to take this off the loom, so we're going to hold on to the bands on the top center peg with your thumb or a hook, and we release the rest of the bands from the loom. We move sideways inwards, and we move from the top downwards. And I'm going to loosen these up just a little more in the center, carefully though. And we'll put the hook through the top center bands and pull it off. There she is, she's so cute. If you have any loose bands, you can adjust them now. Otherwise, I'm going to put my hook through, take it out, and then put it back through the opposite side. So this is how we'll be adding it onto the face. If you really don't want to do that, what you can do is push your beads through and under to the front, but that's an extra step we don't want to do if we don't have to. We're ready to move on to the head. So let's take 2 orange bands, top center to top right, 2 orange bands, top center to top left, and we're going to come down once on each row with double orange bands. Now, initially I came down twice at this point. And if you want the longer area here, you can always add an extra set of double bands right there. From here we have 2 sets of skin tone on the left side, double bands. And in the center, we're coming down with 3 sets of double skin tone bands. And on the other side, double skin tone bands as well, but we will be adding an extension after. Take 2 skin tone bands from your right 4th peg to your center 5th, and do the same from the left side, 4th peg down to the center 5th. And I used single holding bands, so we're going to take some skin tone, go across your 2nd pegs down and your 4th pegs down, and our eyes are gonna go, let's make sure these are in the right place, yep, right there. So let's get our eyes ready. I'm gonna take my hook. Oh, I don't need my hook. If you are using bands, you can wrap them on the hook and transfer them the way that you did the button bead. If you have small beads as I do, you're gonna do what we did with the floss before. So put both of your beads onto the floss this time. And if you're using bands, it'll be 2 bands together onto the skin tone band. This dental floss is fresh, it's all sticky with mintiness. Kind of tacky to the touch. It's okay. Put both beads or both bands onto your floss or your hook if you're using bands. Run it through skin tone band, that's what you want to put these on, and we're going to run it back through the beads from the opposite direction. These beads I have are very, very little, so I apologize if this takes me a minute. Hopefully I can usually get it reasonably quickly, but kind of a delicate procedure some days. And this is going to be one of those days, isn't it? Let's try it on this side. Oh, there's 1 and 2. Pull both of your beads on, and this will go across from the 3rd peg down on one side to the 3rd peg down on the other. You want to get your hook in between, and I'm just going to use my other hook here. Get it in between the beads or the bands, and bring one part of that skin tone band over the peg above, which is your 3rd peg down. Okay, let's put our hair extension on. So we're going to take 2 bands and put them from the 2nd peg to the 3rd peg down, and from the 3rd peg to the 4th peg down. This will round out her face a little bit and give us a kind of profile. For the hair extension, well, let's put on our body first. This is going to go into the 5th peg down in the center. I'm just transferring all the bands from my hook. Squish that in there for now. Now for the hair extension, we're going to take a single orange band, wrap it onto the hook 1, 2, 3 times, and put it onto a doubled over single. put the other end on, take a single, wrap it on the end of the hook 1, 2, 3 times, and we want this to sit in between, right in between here. So take one side and pop it over that wrapped band. And we're going to make one more of these. Just see that that's what we did. Oh, we're going to put this onto a doubled over band first. Let's do that first. Take a single band, double it over. These are all in the hair color. Slide all these new bands on top. We're going to make one more. These are this piece here. So a single, wrap it nice and tight. 1, 2, 3 times, 4 times if you want. Put it onto a doubled over single. Put the other end on. We're going to put a wrapped band at the end of the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And we're going to pull one side of our first piece over so that our wrapped one sits in the middle. This goes onto a doubled over single as well. Make sure we've got the right pieces and it's sliding nicely. This one goes over. Okay, put the other end on. We'll kind of put these together and we're going to put them both onto a doubled over single. And this will go right from the hook onto the top center peg. Okay, let's loop up. So let's go under the neck, under the body we added. Take the top 2 bands, bring them to the left side. Find the next 2 and bring them to the right side. That's 1. There's 2. We'll loop up the left side first where it's all skin tone here for the next couple. Loop up once, push back the eyes, loop up twice, loop up 3 times, and you can loop to the center. I'm going to reach this over the hair as I loop just so the hair stays in the front. I'm going to loop up the center next. I'm going for the easy stuff here. And again, I'm going to loop right over, reach it right over the hair. And now on the side, we go under the 4th peg down here. Bring your orange up once. Bring your next orange, just the top 2 here. Hold on to the 2nd peg down, and we're going to take the orange off and to the side. Go back to the 4th peg down, find your bottom 2 skin tone and loop them forward. Next 2 skin tone, push back the eyes, loop forward. And your orange, reach inside on that 2nd peg down, loop up, and loop inwards to the center. And we are just about done here. Let's take a hair colored band, get it ready in your left hand. With your right hand, point the open part of the hook away from you and push your hook through the bands on the top center peg. There are a lot here, so if you're worried, you can always use 2 bands to secure. I'm grabbing my orange securing band and pulling it up. When I'm at the top, I can turn my hook upwards, put the other end on, and pull one side over the other to create a slip knot. Gonna hold on to this, or you can put it on a hook or a C-clip, whatever. And we'll take the face carefully off of the loom. Oops. And just don't let go of those top ones. It'll be kind of crummy. And we want to press our eyes through to the back side here, to the side here. If you have any loose bands, again, you can grab those now. I'm just going to take my orange band and pop it over the top hair piece. I'm twisting it around, so twist and pop. Now we're going to do the eyes. If you want the face to be a little tighter, I might make a note for you to use doubled over singles for the holding bands. But if you have used the singles and you want to make it tighter, you can go from the back and you can look for the parts that are stretching right across and just get a hold of those and tug them in a little bit, put them on a C-clip. So I feel like my face here is a little bit tight, so I'm going to get a couple of the long pieces, sorry, a little loose. I'm going to get a couple of the long pieces and tighten it a bit. But that's just something for you to know that you can do if you want. I'm putting those on a C-clip, secure. Let's make the eyes and then we'll make our bone and then we're done. So if you use bands, you don't have to do anything here. If you use beads, of course, you're going to draw on your pupil. You can make it any way you like. You can have a really large black dot here. You can have little eyelashes. You can just have a little dot. I think I'm going to roll these up just a little bit there. And for the bone that sits in the hair, we take some white bands and we're going to do a single band wrapped 1, 2, 3 times. And this is going to sit on a doubled over single. And we're going to make another of these, a single white band wrapped 1, 2, 3 times on a doubled over single. And I'm going to put this onto a single orange band. And then I'm going to make one more of these. So, like the same that we just did there. So a white wrapped 1, 2, 3 times, put onto a doubled over white band. And we'll make one more of those. Single white wrapped 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Put onto a doubled over white band. Springy doubled over white band. And let's put these both onto an orange. Okay. And what we're going to do is take this off, put it on our finger, and stretch it over the hair piece, just like an elastic band, as if you were doing up your hair. Give it a twist and put it back on top. And the other one, carefully take it off, put your fingers through, or you can always use the hook if it's easier for you, I guess. I just find this gives me more stretch here. Pop it over, give it a twist, pop it over again, and position it where you want it. And there, your Betty Rubble is done. So let me show you the picture, let me show you the finished product here. And most of my Flintstone set is out, as well as my Jetsons. So I encourage you to check those out, and I thank you so much for watching.